Hey everyone, it's Elizabeth Moronsko with Kudos magazine. We're always talking to you guys about healthy, happy living. But the truth of the matter, a lot of it starts with your mindset. And today I have a special guest that's going to be sharing some of the things that he's learned through life, including being a 4-time finisher for Ironman, a community advocate, and so many other things. Today I have Chris Swanson with us.
What's up, my Kudos family? Welcome back. It's been a minute.
So it's great to have you back online again. So for some of you that may not know, Chris has actually written a couple of articles with Kudos magazine to share insight on healthy, happy living, because he lives it every single day, including involvement with many nonprofits and even in his personal life and in his fitness regimen. So what we're hoping today, Chris, is that you could give us some of this insight on how a mindset, I think you called it an athletic mindset, can help people even through difficult times. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, now more than ever, there's people that ask all the time around the country, how are we going to get through this? What's tomorrow going to look like? Well, if you need an athletic mindset, you need one now more than ever because of all the stresses and the trials that we're facing. So that mindset is simply looking at everything as a competition. Everything is a win. And you don't go into anything unless you're going to go out there to win. So you got to win for your family, win for your job, win for your employees, win for your bosses, win for your community, win for social justice, win for whatever it is you want. And you can't do that unless you train like an athlete. And I didn't learn that, Elizabeth, till later on in my life. I was a late bloomer. And, I've always kind of took care of myself, the bare minimum. But there was a moment in my life, and I've said this in the book, where I literally just looked at myself, and I was already a police officer, but I said, what the heck? Like, I didn't compete in any sports in the high school. And it was that moment that I thought, I got to get something done. I got to change. And that was 20 years ago. And I've done 4 bodybuilding shows, 7 marathons, 4 Ironmans, multiple triathlons. I train 6 days a week, still bodybuild. It's part of my DNA.
It's a valid point for people to remember. It's never too late, and you can set your standard of where you're going based on where you're at right now and where you want to be. You can be 50 and start over, and get
Elizabeth. I have been passed by 80-year-olds in Ironman. 80-year-olds, and what they do is they pass you and be like, "Keep on going, you're almost there." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Seriously. There's no age limit to getting your health and fitness back.
A lot of it starts with mindset that includes, our personal struggles that we go through, or even goals that we have, or even fears that inhibit us from taking that first step.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to tell you, because if you take care of the machine will take care of you. And in today's world, let's face it, people are making first impressions all the time. And so if I'm going to go out there and promote a message, whatever the message is, I got to make sure that what I'm presenting sends the same message. So imagine walking into a restaurant and it is so nasty. The bathrooms aren't clean. The parking lot's got weeds. There's a smell in there. And they say that they make the best food you'll ever have. Do you really even believe it? And the answer, of course, is no. So it's all about presentation. It's all about, and it's not about vanity. It's not about ego. It's about the machine that you have that's being used to do a whole lot of great stuff in life. And I've always used this as an example. Imagine if somebody were to die at 70. And most of us would think, oh, you know what? That's 70 long years. They did a good job. Unless you're 70, then you have a lot more on the table, right? But what if by not making good decisions, they died at 70, but if they made good decisions, they could live to 90? What did they miss out for 20 years? In fact, what if they didn't have vitality for those last 10, 15 years? There's a lot of great people that have cut themselves short because they take and make excuses when they could go out there and train physically and live healthy and eat clean. And eating clean just means that you're putting more good in your body than bad. You're eliminating sugars and fats and fried foods, not completely, but just in moderation. All of that goes to the mindset of what are you putting out there as your presentation? And it starts every single day in the morning. and it continues nonstop. It never ends taking care of the goose that lays the golden egg.
If you do those baby steps, that's where you can get to miles, where you've walked a mile,
Oh, yeah.
that path of goodness that you want. With like stress level, and a lot of people are under a lot of stress, and just trying to get through ordinary life can be difficult, but we're living in extraordinary times right now. What are some things that you would say are best ways for people to stay in tune with that positive mindset to keep going in that direction of whether it's your health or personal goals? Like right now during the pressure. I know, and you should know.
This is like an awesome question, because there's two types of stress. There's the stress that increases the cortisol in your body, which is released by your adrenal glands, which causes that pressure, that anxiety. It keeps you up at 3:30 in the morning. You wake up for it. You go to bed with it. That stress kills people. The eustress, which is EUSTRESS, that's created by your hypothalamus in your brain. That's the same stress that your body releases when good things are happening. A great meal, a good visual, intimacy, a laugh. You want to replace horrible, nasty, disgusting stress from your adrenal glands that brings us down by eustress situations. So go out there and do things that create that. So that's why after work today, I've got pressure like everybody else, but I'm going to go run because it releases that eustress. I'm going to hug my wife. I'm going to go to dinner. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to force myself to force stress in my life that's good stress, not negative. And so the immediate thing you can do if you're watching right now and you feel like the weight of the world is on you is to find ways to eliminate all the negativity and replace that with something that you love to do. Go for the walk. Go have the great meal. Go up with somebody that you've been friends with. Get people out of your life, it sounds bad, that are causing you all that trouble. Stop reading the comments. Stop going into areas where you know you're going to be attacked. I mean, protect yourself, because that's what's going to keep you alive.
And one of the first places that I actually met you, Chris, I don't know if you remember this, was through Pink Nightpalooza, which is a local event that happens every year that raises money for local women that are battling breast cancer. And these are warriors, and they come out in groves to celebrate. And Chris is one of the, you're the MC for that event. I imagine you're going to be doing that again this year, right?
Right on.
And I think that it's important for people to be reminded, you know, you can be a warrior, but you can still say no to some of the stuff that isn't serving you and bring in some of those things that do make you feel good. Like, for instance, that Pink Night, it is a feel good evening that's embracing all these warriors that have made it through or are still battling.
So Elizabeth, remember last year, October 2019, Pink Nightpalooza. And as you mentioned, there's not only survivors there, but there's people that are in active battle. Mm-hmm. And we found, and I can't recall, Lightning Electric Company, something along those lines. I forgive me for not remembering the name, but they had 2 extra tickets because it's a sold out event. I mean, Hurley goes all out and it's always sold. They had 2 extra tickets, and a husband whose wife was going through active treatment wanted to surprise his wife for her birthday and bring her to Pink Nightpalooza. So the night before, Hurley was able to secure 2 tickets. The fighter had no idea what was going to happen, and it was their date night. They had the kids already taken care of. She had just come from treatment, so she was weak, she was sick, she was tired, but he brought her. So we highlighted her and her story and told about her husband wanted to take her out on the date, and he couldn't think of any place better than to take her to Pink Nightpalooza. And so we cast this story out, and I said, we're going to bless her tonight. And we want you, if you are here, to come up to the table, wish her well, keep your distance, and just fill the table with money. Give this woman a visual, physical show of support so they can buy toys for their kids and toiletries for the family and all that. And dude, you remember? This thing went on for 45 minutes. There was a pile of money. It was awesome. Fast forward, last Thursday, I'm at an event. A couple comes up to me and they're like, hey, we just got to tell you, we were at Pink Nightpalooza last year and we are best friends with that family. I said, oh my gosh, How is she doing? She is doing fantastic. Still going through her treatment, her battle, but she said that night gave her so much hope. What we did is we created a eustress moment for her and her husband and for her family. And the people that gave sacrificially created eustress. That whole room was filled with eustress.
It's incredible.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's incredible. And you know, it goes to show the power of what we can do when we give some of our energy
Yes.
in a positive way to other people, even strangers that we don't know, that we can have an impact on. And I've got to brag on you one more time really quick, because another place that I had accidentally connected with Chris, I didn't even know you were a part of it, was the event for Voices for Children. And maybe you can tell a little bit about the group, but you were there, and it's one of those things that the children that it benefits at these fundraising events, they're not there. However, all these people working together for the greater good of somebody that they might not even see can make a difference. But tell the viewers a little bit about Voices for Children and your involvement with that, because it's a pretty cool group.
Man, I've been around for a long time in law enforcement, and we see vulnerable victims, whether they're elderly, mentally ill, addicted, and now you've got the children that we're talking about now. These are kids that are being sexually abused and violated and have no voice. So Voices for Children is the child advocacy center that's here in Flint, Genesee County, and Shiawassee and Lapeer, and they have incredible forensic interviews where they are able to retrieve dark, deep, horrible accounts of how these children have been assaulted sexually and physically in order for us to hold these monsters accountable. And it is a 501c3 organization that's been around, and actually Judge Robert Weiss, who's now gone, it was originally an organization named after him, and it was called the Weiss Advocacy Center. And Voices for Children now is that center. And that night, it was one of their fundraisers. And what we use that money for is to fund the program to hire and to employ these counselors. And they are so good. I would encourage anyone watching to set up a tour, especially after COVID, where the Big Blue House is, and here in Flint, and look at the rooms that these counselors interview these children to get their accounts. And they roll on the floor with them. They use crayons. It's like a bedroom, daycare, school, playground, all wrapped in one. And the event that I was there with you is to raise that money, and it raised more money than it's ever raised for that event. And it's because you paint a picture of need. And when people see the picture and they get behind a mission, they give sacrificially. So I appreciate the brag because it's where my heart is. I always get behind missions and movements that change lives and unite. And if you look at anybody in world history that we follow, whether they're dead or alive, it's always people that united. It's always people that encourage, that gave hope. And that's what Voices do. That's what Hurley does. That's what Kudos does. That's what Elizabeth does. That's what Swanson does. And that's what you need to do.
Well, you actually took my line, because I was going to say that's what Chris Swanson does. And you really do. I'm not just saying that because I've got you on this interview. I'm really not. But you are. And I think that sometimes you do it where, like I said, I went to the event and I didn't know that you were a part of it until I showed up. And then lo and behold, it was, Chris Swanson's helping out again. But I think that like one of the key things when we talk about healthy, happy living, that doesn't mean ignoring the ugly and sweeping it under the rug. What it means is addressing what needs to be fixed or in our community by coming together and creating a solution that actually works. And you're continually a part of that. So I think that's phenomenal. Yeah. Even with the animals, I think you're even tied into the adopted pet, which is where I got my pet. Helping other people. That's how we can make this world better. One family, one neighborhood, one community at a time.
To be first, you must be last and servant to all. Never forget that.
It's powerful. Now, if we can get more people on board with that mindset, we just got to keep pushing out more of this Kudos stuff.
Right on.
So grateful that you took the time to come share this insight.
Hey, always take care of your home field. And I love Hurley. I love Kudos. I love Genesee County. And, you know, I've always said that if we can use our own circles of influence to make an impact, then that's where you're going to see change. So you, me, and everybody here watching, you have a circle of influence that you can pour into. That's what you need to do as an individual. Commit to it today.
If you got something under this video, go ahead and give it a share. And in the meantime, have a great day, guys. Bye.